¡Seguridad! ¡A mí! ¡Pronto! ¡Seguridad! ¡Vamos rápido!
This is not a battlefield! This is the home of truth! We surrender our weapons here. What in heaven has gotten into you? I thought you were friends.
Ya regresan a los puestos iniciales. Aquí tenemos controlada la situación.
I understand that the prince and the general have met. I will interview you both separately.
Glad.
Are you okay?
What?
Is everything all right?
Sure. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. Everything's marvelous. There's nothing wrong.
Interview 400-401. Subject, Loris. According to the record, the prince was led into the desert for the meeting. Were you there for that?
Everyone was there. We were ordered to be in attendance once he reached the wasteland. But the meeting didn't happen for at least a month.
Really? Why?
They were preparing. The general met with his confidants to discuss strategy. But the prince, well, he was alone.
What was he doing?
I can tell you what he wasn't doing. Eating.
He went without food for a month?
Or water.
What?
He's not human. He only looks human. They can't live that long without hydration, trust me.
Loris, there is something I think you need to understand.
There's nothing to understand. He's wearing a disguise, and hidden under that meat suit is the prince. We all know that he cannot be killed. I will say this, though. It's pretty convincing.
In that desert, his lips and skin dried out by the end of the first day. Pretty soon, he stopped sweating. His eyes sunk in, his heart rate increased. He started vomiting not long after that.
His blood pressure dropped so low, we were sure a heart attack was imminent. And then he collapsed. And he didn't get up until nightfall. It was a pretty good show. You must have known we were watching. The fever, the dizziness. That was a nice touch.
By the time he got to day 40, he could barely walk. Not for long anyway, he was just laying there, breathing heavily. covered in flies.
40 days. 40 days and he hadn't met the general yet?
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't see how this prepares him for anything. Because by the end of that month, I didn't recognize him. You know, I haven't actually seen him since the Civil War.
Last time I saw him, he was commanding angels. He's cloaked in light. His eyes burn like twin suns. But seeing him there, that was torture.
You know, I think I know why the general insisted that we stay with him the whole time.
Why?
He wanted us to witness what the prince had become. It was not a picture of strength.
What about the general?
There's a reason why we follow him.
All of us were on one side, but displaced on the other. All of a sudden, there was an explosion in the sky.
A new kind of warfare?
No. Someone broke the sound barrier. He looked up and there he was. The general.
He flew right over us in this dazzling display and then streaked to the ground like a meteor. Now that was incredible.
He always did like to make a big entrance.
It was more stunning than I remembered.
Full of wisdom.
And perfect in beauty.
He was hypnotizing. I had to pull away.
What did they talk about?
He did something that surprised us. The general asked him how he was feeling, and he thought he could use some food. So he suggested he eat first.
No. There's something you're not telling me. What else did he say?
He tried to get him to doubt his identity. He said something akin to, "You're the son of the king. Turn these stones to bread."
Textbook psychological warfare. Baiting him with appetite?
He just thought he was hungry. I mean, hey, if you can't use divine power to end hunger, then what's it good for?
Uh-huh.
For what it's worth, he didn't look like the son of the king. There have been plenty of imposters.
Like he didn't know.
He had to be sure.
Conniving.
Brilliant. I'm just telling you what I saw, Raina.
So was that the end of the meeting?
Oh, he was warming up. He tried to get him to kill himself.
Kill himself? How exactly would that work?
It wouldn't work. He can't die.
He can't die.
Are you sure?
Tell me something.
May I ask a question?
Why the disguise?
What's the delay?
Pauper's clothes, the illegitimate birth.
It's been 30 years and nothing's happened. When is he going to go public?
Why won't he reveal himself? Honest men have nothing to hide.
The general hasn't exactly been forthcoming with his identity.
We're not done.
The general unveiled his true position.
The god of the earth.
God?
The prince was taken to the best view on the planet.
And believe it or not, he offered him the world
If what?
If he bowed down to the general.
Oh, it was just a gesture. A sign of respect.
He didn't just want the physical act. He wanted to be worshipped.
How could he possibly justify this?
It's the same thing we are commanded to give administration when we're in their domain. And he refused. That's how much he hates equality.
Do you actually believe that you and the prince are on the same level? Huh? So how did this all end? Why don't you tell me this? What were you two fighting about? What were you two fighting about?
When the prince leaves the desert, you take him out.
Ah!